Life is a long journey.
Did you know that Africa was
Life is a
originally
test.
called Alkeburan before the
Life is a
intervention of
promise.
Europeans and Americans?
Life is a plan.
Today, I was lucky as
Wisdom and knowledge is
I
needed
was
to
reading a
maintain
certain
all those.
magazine and I landed on an article that was written by
I don't know
a
my way
soldier
towards,
from the Central African
because I
Republic
never knew that before.
by the names of
I was given a golden
Lieutenant
chance. I
Yaketo
prayed
Kobeto Anna
it has fallen
Emanuela
in the pit,
from the FACA.
never to find
FACA
it
is the
again.
army of Central African Republic.
I feel like a person in the
Post
deep
Army
forest
Central Africa.
or desert.
He wrote and said, "The lost nation of Alkeburan." As a proud soldier, I have always told my soldiers that a soldier who doesn't know the history of his country is like a sailor who doesn't know the location of the landing site. Before all the confusion and disorganization by the whites, we all belong to one nation known as Alkeburan, which means the origin of all mankind, or the Garden of Eden, according to the indigenous languages of the Alkeburan people, that is to say, the Kushites. He goes on, he says, "Imagine how Africans are proud of knowing and fluently speaking foreign languages than their own mother tongues, and that's how we are divided along Anglophones and Francophone lines." Wow. And if you cannot speak English or French, you are not worth a good job, a political position, or any important recognition in society, regardless of how fluent you are in your mother language. It challenges how Africans have knowledge to know full lineups of European footballers and their biography, and cannot sing full version of their national anthems. Yeah, if you're there and you're an African, you know all the players of Manchester United, you know all the players of Arsenal, and you cannot sing the full version of your national anthem, this is for you. We continue with the article, "The Lost Nation of Alkeburan" by Lieutenant Yaketo Kobeto Anna Emanuela from the FACA, Central African Republic. He says, "Look at our dress code, music and culture. We have totally ignored and adopted that of Europe to the extent of prioritizing homosexuality that does not support reproduction." Wow. What I saw in the message of this soldier, he loves Africa. And indeed, I salute all the presidents of Africa who refused to sign the law of homosexuality in your countries, because this is against our norms and culture as Africans. Besides that, it's an evil, because God created man and women with different reproductive systems for a purpose. We continue with the article. "Most of the great inventors in America and Europe were blacks, but they are not recognized anywhere in those continents. For example, Garrett Morgan, who invented the modern 3 traffic lights in 1923. You who never knew how the traffic lights came into existence, Yaketo has told you that they were invented by Garrett Morgan in 1923. Mary Van Brittan Brown invented the first home security system, CCTV cameras. Dr. Charles Drew invented the blood banks. Alexander Miles invented automatic door for elevators or lifts, among others who were either former slaves or sons and daughters of slaves." Wow. If you're there thinking that Africans have done nothing, this article misproves you that most of the great invasion, to the extent that even the automatic door of the elevator, most of us know as a lift, was invented by a black person. We continue. Africans have lost dignity to whites in all spheres of life, both in Africa and diaspora. If we don't wake up now to trace our history, politically, social, and economically, and reverse mistakes of our forefathers by reading, writing, and relating our history, we shouldn't blame anyone for all the challenges we have faced, including the name Africa. She emphasizes in the renaming of the continent Africa. When you cross-check in all languages spoken in the currently continent known as Africa, in all our languages, we don't have any word, we don't have a word Africa in our dialectics of African languages, meaning the name Africa is not African, is not Alkeburan. The name Africa is foreign. So we should reverse back and rename our continent to her original name, Alkeburan. We should rename our continent Alkeburan and remove the name Africa, which does not belong to any of our languages. We must reverse back and rename Africa as Alkeburan and erase the 1884 Bahrain-based borders that created states in a once one nation. Long live Alkeburan. Written by Yaketo Kobeto Ana Emanuela. Wow! Putting this book aside, now I want to take this message to all Africans, not only the people of Central African Republic where the article originates from, but to everyone, whether you're in Uganda, whether you're in America, but you're an African, let's prioritize Africa. Let's come back. All the things you're seeing, all the confusion we have is because of colonialism and neocolonialism. Chinese are studying in Chinese, Japanese study in Japanese, Koreans study in Koreans, and set exams in Koreans and graduate in Koreans. But they are the people on top of manufacturers. All most of the things we are using in Africa are manufactured in China. Even the phones we use are manufactured, most of them are manufactured in China, but they have the English version. You can set it in the English version, implying that learning English is like any other language, and it doesn't make sense in any socio-economic transformation of the society or of the country. Let's reverse back. Let's forge the unity of Africa. We break the chains of Francophone and Anglophones. We live back to our African originality. Let's embrace the Swahili language as the unifying language of Africa. To break the superiority of the Anglophones and Francophones, and to break the superiority of the colonial master languages in Africa. If we don't unite now, never blame our forefathers who allowed colonialism to take over in Africa. And we should never expect our children to unite Africa if we fail. Our forefathers like Nelson Mandela, Madiba, Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Webu Du Bois, Martin Luther King Jr., Kenneth Kaunda, Robert Mugabe, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to mention but a few, laid foundations of the African unification. But because of greedy and lack of knowledge of the history of our nation, some hypocrites passed behind them and failed their intentions. It's high time. Long live Alkeburan. I support Yaketo Kobeto Ana Emanuela in the renaming of Africa as Alkeburan, its original name that means origin of mankind or Garden of Eden. Thank you.